Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to discuss on CSS height, width and outline. And I guess I had already created this HTML document so that we may not waste time again coding. But the key thing is that I taught you basic HTML elements. So today we are going to begin first of all with the CSS height and width, and then later we shall finish with the outline. But I guess before we get started, please I beg that you may subscribe to this channel and also like my videos. So I had already linked this external CSS to this HTML document with the link element here, and then it is the name of my CSS. So I just wrote my styles.css. Remember the keyword is this extension .css. So I linked it to this external CSS. So anything that I code in this external CSS will affect the HTML document. So for example, if I delete this entire document in the external CSS, let me just cut and then save, and then here refresh. So you see your document is now blank. It's just ugly like that, very ugly. But when you include your when you just replace your external CSS, your styles, and then control S, then you see it has affected this entire document. So today we are going to first of all begin the height. So the CSS height and width are used to set the height and width of an HTML element. So elements like these are the heading, the paragraph, the form, the table. So it can affect either at the head, the paragraph, the form, and whatever it is. So first of all, I want us to affect this first heading. I want us to style this heading with this aspect of height, width, and height and width. So, for example, if we want to style this H1, this heading, we shall use the selector which is H1. H1 is the selector, is the selector of this heading, the highest heading, and then you write this, you open and close these curly braces, and then here in between you write your property and value. So the first property is going to be height, yeah, height. For example, if you give it something like say 150, or let's say 200 pixel, and then the width if you give it something like 50%. Sorry, first of all you write the property is width. The width, if you give it something like 50%. So basically, the width is the distance between this between this edge in the left hand side and this edge to the right hand side. So the 50% is going to probably be this in the midst. So this your content here, your H1 content will be somewhere like this part here, because we have made it halfway. So 50% is like the half of this length of this width, and then the height is the distance between the top and the bottom. So it's going to create some space between this H1 between the heading and this paragraph. This paragraph actually, this paragraph. So let's click Control S to save, and then I refresh. So guys, you see it has created some space like 200 pixels between the paragraph, the heading, and the paragraph, and then it has split it halfway because we have included you know 50%. So, but perhaps let's include some color so that you may see very well. Let's say background color, let's give it something like let's give it something like powder blue. Then I click Control S to save, and then here Control R to refresh. But it seems to be light, very light. Let's give it something else like this. um, Control S, and then here refresh. So guys, you see very well. So the distance between and this the upper side and this bottom is what, 200 pixel, and then here is the halfway of this length. So it has just, splitted it halfway. So but if you give something like a 100%, it's going to go from this edge to this edge. If you give something like a 100%, then click Control S to save. Don't forget to save and then refresh. So you see it is 100%. It has taken the maximum length or the maximum width. You see, from this end to this end. So so this is the and this now the height and width. So basically the height and width has values. You can choose auto, you can choose length, percent like this with which you have included some percentage, and then we have the length. Length defines something like the height, the width actually in pixel or in centimeter, in em or whatever it is. So and then the initial took the, the width of the of the default value of the browser, value of the browser. But for example, let's take some example here. Let's say this height to be auto, auto with it to be auto. Then click Control S and then refresh. You see it has taken the, the auto width. It has just taken the width between these, this element, this heading, and then the of this browser. So guys, another thing on the height and width that we are going to discuss is the max width property. So sometimes it depends with the gadget you're using. So sometimes when you shrink this, when you resize this window, perhaps in other devices, in other browsers, it might, convey or display different things, some things which are not very very well okay or organized. So you might want to have your the max width property. So with the max width property, you just go to your selector, which is H1, and then here um, you just include the max width, and then you give it something like let's give it something like 500 pixel, and then height for width for height, let's give it height. If we give it something like let remain auto. So when you click Control S and then refresh, so you see this day I know the maximum width, which means you cannot resize this browser until it surpasses 500 pixels. So let's try and see. You see when it just reaches there, you cannot resize it anymore. When it reaches that, that this maximum width, it cannot go any further to resize it. So this help your browsers to display your content well. That's why it's very very prudent to include the maximum width. So this, I think this is all about the height and width. So the next thing that we are going to discuss is the outline, the CSS outline. But before then, guys, I will urge you to go and uh, discuss the CSS box model, so that you may understand the spaces between these pixels, this padding, and so forth, margins, borders, uh, these sizes, these pixels. So go and do a research on the CSS box model, so that you may know very well the things that concerns with the pixel and the padding, the length and all that. So basically the CSS outline is a line drawn outside the elements border to make it stand out or to be unique. So perhaps in this you can add some borders outside here. So actually the outline does not include, is not part of your element. It's just outside. It goes outside. It's a line and drawn outside. And we have the properties on the outline. We have the outline style, which can define if it's a solid, the dotted, dashed, outside, or ridged, the 3D ones, the grooved, or the outline color, the outline width, the outline offset, or the outline shorthand. So straight away, let's affect this H1, this heading. This is what I want us to target it most today. So let's go to it. Where is it? The H1 here it is. And then let's create some space. But remember, don't close these curly braces. Just let if you are affecting the H1, let just do it so on the same, and on the same selector, on the same selector. Don't use two selectors. So here, then write down the outline, outline style. Let's begin the style. The outline style. So the outline style is all about the dotted, the dashed, solid, double, and the 3D ones, which are groove, the ridge, the inside, outside, the outside, the inside. Those are the 3D ones. So this is now all about the outline property. So in this first one, let's use the solid one. The solid one. Let's give it. Let's say solid. So when you click Control S to save, and then here refresh, you see it has added some outline. It's not part. It wasn't part of this. And this, these are, this width and the height. This something like let's say it's this border just actually created a border outside this your content. So you see, let's try dashed. hmm Dashed is just the same as the dotted. Control S save. Then I here refresh. So the dashed is, I always see like the same as dotted. Let's try dotted. You see dotted. Control S. Then I here refresh. You see it's almost the same as the dotted one. But let's try another one like the the double, the one that has double lines. hmm the double. Then I click Control S to save, and then I Control R to refresh. So you can see we have the double outline. So this now but if you want others like the group, you can include the 3D ones like a group. Then Control S and then refresh. You see, but this depends with the color you're using. Like now you can't see it very well. This depends with the color you're using. But first of all, let's go on with this solid one. Solid. It's just the same as solid. Just the same as solid because of the color. So these are the styles. So the other thing that we are going to discuss is the width, outline width. another property which is outline width. So the outline width is basically the distance, the width of the outline, like how thick it is, how thin it is, how the length of the or the width of the outline. So outline actually property specify the width of the outline, and can have the thin value. You can specify it as either thin. Thin typically defines 1 pixel. Thin, the size. And then medium defines 3 pixel, and then thick defines 5 pixel. Let's try and see. So let's go another property. So say outline width, and give it something like let's say thick. If we say thick, it will be 5 pixel, thick. So if Control S and then refresh here, so you see it is 5 pixel thick. And then you can also specify it using the value. Let's just say 5 pixel. It will be just the same as how it is. So click Control S to save, and then refresh. You see there's no change. But if you include something like a 10 pixel, and then I click Control S to save, and then here refresh, you see it has added some the thickness. And then if you say just thin, it's going to display 1 pixel thick. If we say thin, and then I click Control S, you see it is 1 pixel thin. Another thing that we are going to discuss is the color, the outline color. And then the outline color is very a very easy thing, because we have discussed colors all along. So you just write this property, outline color. Use the outline color, and then give it something like red. Let's say red. Let me use purple this time around. But for this, let me change the size, the thickness. Let me say like something like a 10 pixel, or let's say 5 pixel. Okay, 5 pixel. And then I click Control S to save, and then I refresh. So you see you have the outline which is purple. You can play around with these colors. Perhaps if you choose something like a green, then click Control S, and then refresh. So these colors goes like that. And then we have discussed colors, the RGB one, the RGBA, in those values, the HEX, and so forth, the values, the names. So colors, you don't have the big problem over there. But now let's try to discuss the shorthand about the outline. So with the shorthand, you can just choose you use this tag. Just write outline like that, and then you can include your things like let's say 10 pixel, and then you say solid, or let's say the same dashed here. Let's say dashed, and then let's say dashed 10 pixel dashed, and what else? A color. Let's give it a color to be red. Then I click Control S and then refresh. You see the shorthand is very simple, because you just use a single line like this, and then it displays everything. But I like 5 pixel. I don't know why. 5 pixel. Then here the color I don't like. Red. Let me use green. I like this green. But with this one, let me use solid. Just solid. Then click Control S to save, and then I Control R to refresh. So you see, with that, just a single line like this, but you have all these properties included. And like if you have different lines like this for outline color, outline, outline style, outline width, and so forth. So with the the shorthand, you just include this outline property, and then you just include all the values at the same line. So I think this is now the outline. So now the last thing that we are going to finalize with is the outline offset. So basically, the outline offset is the distance between your outline and your content. Now, you are the edge of your content, the margins of your content, or the border. So let's try this one. Let's say the property is just the the outline offset. Just write outline offset. Here it is, and then you write the distance. Let's say something like a 5 pixel. Then click Control S to save, and then Control R to refresh, or just click this icon here. You see you have some space between a transparent space between the outline and the margin of this, the content of yours. So this the offset. Let's give it something like let's say 10 pixels. Then click Control S and then refresh. You see it has included the spaces. So basically this is now all about the CSS outline. So let's say 3, something like a 3. Yeah. So guys, this is all I wanted us to discuss today. So far we have discussed CSS height, width, and outline. In the next video, I'm going to create a video on CSS text, fonts, and icons. So just keep it here, guys, and I'm very very much happy that you've watched to the end. And please just subscribe to this channel, and also like this video.